Behold, I will gather them out of all countries whither I have driven them, and I will bring them again unto this place, and I will cause them to dwell safely, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God. Thus the words of Jeremiah the prophet, echoing through the corridors of time, reached its fruition. Worn and wearied, persecuted beyond all human belief, a people driven by sheer desperation sought a new home in a new land, a land where they could be free, free from persecution, tyranny, and prejudice, a home to forget the past and begin life anew. But that long-cherished dream of setting foot on their promised land is to be denied. The British have been ordered to turn them all back. With tears of desperation, they fight and plead to remain. But instead, the children of Israel, who endured so much for so long, are turned away in this hour of greatest need. They came so close to the promised land that now all hope is left behind. The refusal of the British to admit these exiles became the last straw for the Haganah underground movement. Terrorist activities increased in tempo until finally the problem is turned over to the UN General Assembly. After a long and stormy discussion, the UN finally agreed to take a vote as to whether or not to partition Palestine into a Jewish and Arab state. In Palestine, on the day of the vote, there's a curious silence in the streets. It is a day of waiting and of prayer, for this day could mean that Israel might once again have a home.
Afghanistan, no. Argentina, abstention. Australia.
UN session is being transmitted to Palestine, where huddled over their radios, the people are avidly following the counts.
Soviet Union, yes. United Kingdom, abstain. The United States, yes. The resolution
of the Committee for Palestine was adopted by 33 votes, 13 against, 10 abstentions.
At last there will be a Jewish state. May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion read the Declaration of Independence for the new state of Israel. However, at that very moment, Israel was surrounded. At midnight, Arab League troops struck. The Arabs vowed the total annihilation of the infant nation. Israel stood alone, one nation against six. But the young country's love of freedom was great. Her people, who only wanted peace, took up the weapons of war. Israel came under siege, held fast, and struck back. The astonished world saw the Arabs defeated on all fronts. Israel emerged victorious, gaining 1/3 more land than was allocated under the UN partition. War broke out again, however, in October of 1956, when Nasser blocked Israeli passage through the Suez Canal. Within a week, France and England intervened on the side of Israel. French troops parachuted on the canal zone, while British invasion units waited ashore below. Nasser suffered his worst defeat since coming to power. Israel again became the victor, and again extended her borders. As the years pass, Nasser again begins to speak of still another war with Israel. And then in 1967, the Egyptian leader blockaded the Gulf of Aqaba to Israeli shipping and declared, "We are ready for war." At dawn, the 5th of June, 1967, the war broke out. The well-trained Israeli Air Force quickly silenced the Egyptian airfields together with their aircraft. At the same time, the Navy took to the seas. The Israeli armored divisions roared into Sinai. The attacking Egyptian armies were quickly overrun by the well-trained and disciplined Israeli forces. Israel faced an enemy of 14 Arab states, whose population and armament outnumbered Israel nearly 100 to 1. And yet what has been proclaimed a modern-day miracle, the tiny nation of Israel crushed her enemies in just 6 short days. Thus, history records the struggle for the rebirth of a new nation. Looking back on those dramatic days, we might be inclined to attribute Israel's rebirth and survival as a nation to her great determination and resourcefulness as a people. But is it that alone? You recall that Israel has been called God's chosen people, which carries with it the thought that somehow, at some time, they will serve a special purpose and destiny in God's plan. What is that destiny? Well, to find the answer, we need to go to the book that records Israel's past, her present, and even her future. And as we do, we will see that Israel was reborn not by mere chance or cunning or determination alone. No, but because an almighty God promised it would happen and then directed it to take place. Let's look at some of the prophecies regarding Israel. The prophet Jeremiah wrote of the diaspora of Israel some 600 years before it actually took place. Because of unfaithfulness, God said, "Therefore will I hurl you out of this land into the land of which ye had no knowledge, neither ye nor your fathers." And so, for nearly 2,000 years, Israel remained dispersed throughout the world without a homeland. But notice how God, through Jeremiah, also prophesied of the return of favor to Israel by their being restored back to their land. "Therefore, behold, days are coming, saith the Lord, when it shall not be said any more, As the Lord liveth, who hath brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But as the Lord liveth, who hath brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the countries whither he had driven them. And I will cause them to return unto their land, which I have given unto their fathers." How they would come back was also prophesied. "I am bringing them out of the northland, gathering them from the ends of the earth. Blind and lame are among them, women with child and women in travail. They come back a great company. They went away in tears, but I lead them back consoled.